Next up, I call him the Meryl Streep of the Grammy world. 20 Grammy wins his name. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Franklin. Next up, we have one of the greatest OG directors in here, directed films such as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, also doing TV shows like The Cheetah Girls. Guys, we have Scott. And then we have the youngest showrunner in television, which is weird. I'm the youngest awards editor in here too, so we have that in common. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan E. Cooper.
Good whiskey. Good whiskey. I don't know what they had back then.
And last but not least, the most serious guy in this business, star of Average Show, Deon Cole. All right. All this meeting with you guys today. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk shop. DC.
What it do? Why you sound like that?
Oh, man.
Let's talk DC.
Don't make fun of me here, man. Listen, you've done a lot of stand-up and you've worked a lot of various mediums showing your comic skills. How did you, is there anything additional you had to learn or prepare to host something like Celebrity Squares?
I mean, well, Celebrity Squares is pre-recorded, so anything pre-recorded, if you can like mess up on, you'll never know because, you know what I'm saying, you can always record again. But I was kind of already trained from when I had to do TRL because that was live, that's like broadcasting, that's like news. So if the teleprompter goes off, you're still live on television, and that's what makes you. So one time we was on air and the teleprompter had to go off, and it was off for like 2 minutes. The longest 2 minutes ever, and people just in my ear just like, DC, keep talking, and I'm like, welcome America! So it's like when you've been, you know what I'm saying, molded from that background, when you go do pre-recorded, it's more so just like, you know what, just bring in your personality and just, you know what I'm saying, and kind of fill in the spaces, and that's what all I, you know what I'm saying, had to do.
Thank you. Mr. Franklin, sir. You have been submitted for original music and lyrics for that song, That Way, that's performed by Kingdom. Vince You'll guest star this season. I think you might have a career in music in your future. I think you're doing some great things. What differs this time around for you, taking on a song such as this? And you know, we've listened to your gospel stuff for such a long time, and now you're really touching all different types of mediums now.
Well, you don't have to say long time like I'm old. You could say it just once and then. No, man, I'm just really thankful and grateful for BET. They've been a great family for me, and they just allowed me to explore different lanes from Sunday best to work with Dr. Bobby Jones and Celebration of the Gospel, and now working along with the great Devon Franklin, Holly Davis Carter, and this great man right here working on Kingdom Business. And so, you know, having a chance to write a story, write music in real time, the story is something I've always enjoyed. And so it's really great for the opportunity, and even grateful to have a song to be considered for such a prestigious moment like this. And so, you know, just always thankful for the news. You know, everything new in my life, I'm very humble by it, and I just want to be a good steward of the news.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, you're submitted for directing the eighth episode Song of Joy. You've been around, I'm not going to say a long time anymore, you just got here. No. I'm old. You touched film, you touched TV, and I mean, this is some of the most comfortable direction that I've seen from you in your longest-seen career. Can you just talk about your approach to helming this show, and that differs from anything else that you've tackled before?
You know, I come out of improvisational theater, I come out of Broadway, I've come a long way for Colored Girls. You know, we put that together, and when we put that together, you get into the people. And what I loved about this was of course, Kirk Franklin's music, oh my God, you know, and I think the first thing I said when I took the show is, Kirk, who's gonna be you? He said, what do you mean, who's gonna be me? I said, the choir director, who's gonna be that choir director? Who's gonna be dancing all through the, you know? So, I've done a lot of shows, you know, Cheetah Girls, I've done music, I've done comedy, I've done it all, and I enjoy it, and I brought all that to this, and and Song of Joy was such a wonderful episode, and the pilot, the first season, you know, just having your song, having your music, it's a roadmap, it's a roadmap, and I go into everything with the roadmap, and yes, I may be old, I'm still here, and I'm still gonna be here for a long time. But it comes from here. It comes from here. And what I say to actors, you got to be in the moment. You got to live in the moment. It may say something on the script, but if it don't come out your mouth right, it's wrong. So I think I teach a lot.
We're doing right now. Thank you. All right, Jordan Cooper, let's go through this. So, coming off 2 Tony nominations last year. You're submitted for directing Miss Pat 402, The Book of Denise. Miss Pat sidekick. You can kind of do everything at this point, and putting me to shame. I thought I achieved a lot by my age, and then here you come. How has been this process of seeing Miss Pat now in its 4th season? And it seems like a rarity nowadays to say things are getting renewed and things are coming back. We're gonna have more seasons, and we got Miss Pat for a while, it looks like. So talk about working on it.
It's crazy, because just to think about this journey, I wrote the pilot of this show when I slept on a futon. I didn't have a closet. I had 5 roommates, 2 rats, and 1 crackhead. And to think about where I am now, you know, and the fight that we even had to do for me to do the show, because originally Pat was at Fox, and they wanted to do a show with her, but they didn't know what they wanted to do. And so Lee Daniels had told her, yo, I saw this play in New York. There's this kid who wrote this play, you gotta go see his play. And she came off of tour and she went to go see the play. She came up to me afterwards and she was like, nigga, you write like a big black woman. I don't know what that means. And she was like, I want you to write my show. And so I came up with this concept of like, I really wanted to see an R-rated family sitcom with a black family. Like kind of like Bernie Mac and Red Fox if they were able to just be themselves, you know what I mean? And I wanted her to, I always tell her, I was like, your crown is already bought and paid for, you just gotta put it on, just like James Bond, you know what I mean? And it was such a fight to get the show. So at first Fox was like, no, because I was still in college, I was a senior in college. And they were like, no, not at all. Pat was like, you know what we're gonna do, Jordan? They got me interviewing these white boys to build this show, but I want you to do the show. And she was like, I need you to do me a favor. I'm like, what? She said, I want you to write the pilot and take your name off of it. I was like, what? What are you talking about? She was like, write the pilot and take your name off of it. So I did it. And they sent it into Fox, and Fox was like, who wrote this? And they were like, it's the kids we don't want to hire. And we ended up at Hulu, and this is why I'm so grateful for BET Plus and BET in general. Because at Hulu, we were like one of their first, it was still kind of early. We didn't have any black executives working with us. And they didn't understand. I would get notes on the script like, what's a kitchen? Why is the joke about a kitchen? Or why is like all these kind of, why is she yelling at her kids? And why, you know what I mean? And I remember having a conversation where and I'm a very mild-tempered man, but I remember having a conversation where I was like, you can't tell me to change the recipe before my people taste the cake. You know? And to God be the glory, you know, they were like, this is too black for us. BET Plus came in and they said, well, come on home. And I can't think of a better home. I can't think of a better home.
Deon, he said he was bounced up. Mr. Gold, serious role for you, coming today average.
It's stress when you can't follow people. that was good.
Just announced today, second season of The Average Joe. We were talking backstage, and you said you were 28 when you filmed the first season.
Yes.
So, came back now.
Yes.
How does taking on such a serious role? I mean, listen, we know your comic stuff, we know you're funny, and it's very surprising work to see from you, and you hit it out of the park, man. You're amazing at it. What was your approach?
Well, I wanted to outdo Kirk Franklin's less than highly favored voice. Let everybody know the Lord has blessed me as well. No, I'm just serious. But check it out, though. I prepared for this role by watching lots of murder. That's all I did. I would leave stage and make people happy, and then I would leave and I would just watch murder after murder after murder. And it was really crazy. Cynthia tell you, we'll show up on set just sad. Just want to just murder. Just lying and deceitful and killing and hurting people. And every day was like that. And I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to a comic, we're always on and we always looking for the happy medium and things, you know? So to go from that to know you're this miserable dude every day was like hard to do, you know, like different directors would be like, yeah, can you quit smiling? I'll be like, oh damn, bloody knife smiling. So it was really hard to dumb down, like it really is. But if you ever see a comedian in a dramatic role, that goes for like Will Smith and Jamie Foxx, anybody, like it is so hard for us to do that and to be able to do it with that cast and crew, and for them to put up with me and really bring me back down and put me where I need to be at was cool, you know, and to do it with BT Plus is, you know, it was all love, you know, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Can I just say, I didn't know till The Color Purple was over that you raped Steven. I did not know you would see the dead.
That's
No,
thank you. No,
I said thank you. That's a compliment.
Look, when they offered me the role, they was like, yeah, we think you'll be good for this. I was like, want to play hardball? They was like, no, They was like, we think you'll kill it. I was like, yes, I look like a pedophile. But everybody was singing in the movie too, you know, except for me. I'm the only person that didn't have a song. I was happy too. You know? I didn't want to be in that singing. Anyway,
This next question is kind of for everyone, but I want to give a real big shout out here to BET because this is what support looks like in Hollywood. This year, this is the most Emmy submissions BET has ever put out for a consideration. It's not just making a show and then just like praying to the gods. It's like, all right, let's rent out a space. Let's get Deon Cole here to make some jokes. Let's get everything going. This feels good. And many of you, not you, Jordan, but everyone else has been around here a while. And I'm just, you're too young, man. You said you were a senior in college, and that really like messed me up just now because I didn't do that in college. But you guys have worked so much with different types of executives. I'm sure you try to get things made, and people are like, I don't get it, or this isn't universal. We love that word. How has this differed from any other experience that you had at any other networks, music labels, wherever you've really tried to get something going?
I like to say, because being the director and looking at a scene and saying, this isn't working, and they're saying, well, the executives said this is what they want. And what I love about what's been great here is I came over the whole, I said, I want to do something else. I want to try something else. And they said, well, Oz, we can't do that. We can't do that. But they made a phone call, and I don't know if they made it to you, Rose Catherine, or to who, but the word came back, do it the way Oz wants it. And there's a personal, I feel personal. I feel that you can talk to somebody. In a lot of these places, it's like you got 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. I did something, and I felt with one company, and I felt every executive had $20,000 to $50,000 to cover their mistakes.
Yeah.
And it goes higher and higher and higher and higher. And you said you just spent like $200,000 on a stupid question. But there's something personal. And thank you, Scott. Thank you, Rose Catherine. Thank you, all of you guys, for feeling that way. It was that way when I've done a lot of BT things. You feel there's a person. It's a person. You get to talk to a person, and that's important.
Very important. Also, with BT Plus, like they got good hair departments. I worked on a lot of white shows. That's right for Conan O'Brien. I worked on a lot of white shows, and I would be like, I need a haircut, and they'll be like, well, go see Brad, and I'm like, Brad, I'm not to cut my goddamn hair. And they're like, oh, he will, and he's standing there with some silvers and shit. So that's very important. I don't know if you know how bad that is in Hollywood to fight for the hair department. And for BET, when you go to BET, they got a chart. They'd be like, which one you want, goddamn? So I want to shout out to all the hair departments and makeup departments. We love you. For real though, for real. People be walking around here horrible. Like in the other, like in a lot of white shows.
I hate going to a white
You
set.
ever seen them with the horrible biopic wigs?
But sometimes when you go to a white set, it's all white, like makeup and hair team. I'll go in there and they'll be like, oh, they told me to come to hair and makeup. They'll be like, you're good.
And your makeup. This white woman had me look like I had an autopsy when I walked in. Nothing matched, my hands, arms. I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Great.
I kind of want, I don't know, head of programming too. This makes, whatever this is, we need to get a show of this. BET would be great. One thing I also appreciate about all of your series, and we're here representing different genres, stories being told. Listen, I'm a Puerto Rican black guy from Bronx, and thank you, New York. Thank you. I miss it so much. But one thing that I, at Variety and throughout my whole career, I'm sure you guys have also spoken about this, black people, people of color, we're not monolithic. Black people from New York are different from black people from Atlanta, different from LA, different from Michigan, different from Idaho if you grew up there, right? And we're getting that perspective. What is your proudest moment so far in your career that you feel really contributed to you being on this stage today?
Well, I'll just say that God has blessed everybody on this stage, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got on different walks of life and a different journey. I think the major key point is everybody just kept their faith. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people give up at times when they're thinking there's no tomorrow, but they didn't understand that the progress that they made yesterday. You dig what I'm saying? So everything is not a financial justification and instant gratification, if you want to say. You just gotta always know your purpose, know your journey, and every time I go on set, it's like this. God done allowed me to bump shoulders with Deon Cole or Kirk Franklin. You dig what I'm saying? And these other brothers that's on stage that's doing well in life. And then not only that, while we're working outside of work, we can learn from each other. the offset, and when the camera say cut is really the most important part, is when we're talking to each other and trying to figure out our next move. What you got going on? Who are you? What information do you have to give to me so I can take on in my journey, and what information I got to give to you to take on in your journey? It's like what OG said, he's always teaching. So when he said he's always teaching, I'm a student that's always learning. So if you got something to give, I'm willing to listen.
Is that, you know, just simply even looking at a lot of the shows that are on right now, is I just love watching the evolution of BT. You know what I mean? It's because I was on Teen Summit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Teen Summit with a badass curve. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so I just. What you say? I was a Teen Summit with a badass girl, and I just and just watching how they are committed to just great storytelling and great talent, like, you know, for them to go get a Deon and for them to get a DC and to watch just the nuanced programming and how and even how broad the ideas are that they're doing. I'm just loving seeing us take the, you know, just the control of us and telling the stories that really fit who we are as a multiplicity of people, right? And I think it's a beautiful thing to just watch the evolution of this network and to see it from the very beginning, kind of. And so I'm just really proud to look at all this and see it come to pass.
I want to be real careful about your statement, because I can go 3, 4, Color Girl, Busting Loose. I can go through all of those. It's not about where I have been. It's about where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's about the next thing that I do. I did something, I love doing Kingdom Business. I love working with Kirk Franklin. That inspired me. It's those inspirations that we have day to day that keeps us moving, that keeps me young.
Yes.
So I can't go back. I'm not going back. I walked away from Colored Girls after 5 years of dealing with that, and I didn't want to see it again. I did it. It's been done. And I want you guys to take it and go and do your thing. But I'm looking at what's next. And BET plus BET is next. Because it's great working with our people.
Yes.
I also add to that when you say the now is so important, because what I love about working at BET is that they understand my intentionality. They understand how powerful the tool of television is. I love writing, you know, on this past show because I love burying things that normally, conversations that can't be had in the everyday Black family household. All of a sudden they have language for how to deal with shadow work. They have language for how to deal with how to meet somebody gender non-conforming, how to meet somebody gay, or how to deal with their own inner trauma that they just bury deep down and don't necessarily know how to talk about. Right? That in itself is the work. It's a Trojan horse. That's why I love comedy. That's why I love sitcoms, because you're used to seeing a sitcom, right? It's all bright and it's funny and you hear an audience in the background, but when you punch them in the gut while they're laughing, that's when it retains itself. All of a sudden you wake up with a new thought and a new feeling, or I'm going to approach this differently. The Cosby Show raised me. I learned so much of my life from watching Cosby Show and A Different World, and Family Matters, and Good Times, and you know what I mean? And I think that there's a responsibility that a lot of comedy has forgotten. There's a responsibility to push us forward. There's a responsibility for the baton to pass on while we fall over laughing. That's the legacy of Dick Gregory. That's the legacy of Brad Fox. That's the legacy of Richard Pryor. You know what I mean? And I think that this is one of the few places where you are never, ever, ever, ever going to see another show like this past show on any other sitcom. They may try to copy it, but they cannot duplicate it, right? They can't.
So,
It's the hair, yeah.
no, I mean, you got black shows and then you got shows, you know? It's just shows, yeah, it's shows. It's just got black people in it. But it's shows. It's situational stuff. It's It's a show, you know? And so for BT to look at that and begin doing that and making it real, it's all good, you know? I used to have a problem with BT at one point. I used to be like, everybody's hairline's so crispy. Like, that ain't real life. Like, but the more shows that they do, the more real it became, and more that they start dealing with situational things and not making them black. And it was like, and that's important, you know? Our show is a show about murder, you know? It's just some black people murdering some people. But it's murder. It's figuring out. Anybody can figure this out. White, Hispanic, black, anybody can figure this out, right? So it's a show about figuring out. And it's not black. And so the more shows that they do like that, the more people gonna come, the more subscribers, the more money they make, the more money we make, everybody happy, the more barbecue we can have, and Juneteenth, here we come, baby. You know what I'm talking about? So we make them shows and not just black shows. It's gonna stretch out and we're gonna get more people and it's gonna all work out, right?
Right.
Come on, Juneteenth.
Oh, gee.
Well said, well said. I'm gonna end with this. I'm always a good barrel of kind of useless facts, but I feel like this is gonna be useful right now. September 2021, that Emmy ceremony had the most people of color ever nominated at the Emmys. There was a black person in every single acting category, and 0 won. There's no reason why we should have another Emmy So White when there's this kind of content out there. So I hope that the TV consider this, the television consider it, they watch it, and we get that. And with that, we are going to end, and I'm going to offer you something amazing.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Look, man, I want to smoke some weed tonight. Just smoke a little weed tonight.
I got one. What's it? Deon used to date my old girlfriend.
I'm so scared. All right, so my gift to you is it's free for me. There's some free food upstairs and free drinks. Go mingle. Go have a good time. Enjoy. Tell everyone about the